What's up, everybody? Really appreciate you guys for jumping in and being part of this episode. All right, so the name is Law Nation for those who watching for the first time. And I love when I talk to you guys early in the morning, bright and early in the morning. You know, the spirits, the vibration is there, the mindset is there, right? Now, here's the thing. Jerry Jones had a press conference yesterday, and he purchased more and more products, right, for to help develop the Dallas Cowboys. Products being digital products now, blockchain or what have you. And within the blockchain community, cryptocurrency, there's a lot of money around that. And of course, he said that, hey, I want you guys to purchase more and more through blockchain.com. And granted, that's billions of dollars that's about to happen just like that, or millions or what have you. But neither here nor there. To the ingredients of this conversation, Cowboy Nation. Jerry Jones, after that presser, pretty much said, hey, I don't rule out the idea of trading up. And a lot of people sparked the conversation about what this team would look like if they decide to trade up. Now, there are cons, there are pros to trading up. One being, we're not looking for a lot of starters, right? Even though we got a lot of holes, we're looking for one or two starters out of this particular draft. And if you come out of a draft with one or two starters, you are in the honey line, meaning that you're in the sweet spot. And within the confines of being in the sweet spot, Cowboy Nation, I'm going to tell you guys, shout out to you, Jametta. This particular team, if they do decide to trade up, they better not miss. They better not miss. And when you try to look at this big picture of the Dallas Cowboys and the way they operate and how they move within the draft, by it being that they don't dance a lot in free agency. Let me repeat, they don't dance a lot in free agency. You got to hit on this draft, and the draft is the bloodline of this team. Don't miss. That is right, Jametta. Don't miss, right? You got to make sure that whoever you target, shout out to you, Jay Lombardi, good morning to you. Whoever you target, you better hit. Now, shout out to my guys on the Final Word. We did some mock drafts, and it was just on the fly. And thank everybody who watched the previous video of the mock draft. A lot of you guys were saying, like, hey, Law, this is a perfect mock draft. This draft was right on target. We had got Zion Johnson, we went and got George Pickens, and then we got Leo Chanel. We got Sam Williams, so I'm about to say Sam Washington, but we got Sam Williams, so the draft was pretty good, and that's us being right where we are at. You know, I tell people all the time, and I like to bring in some spiritual element to it, and just the psyche of the mind. And when I say this, I mean it. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but it's to he that endureth to the end, right? Meaning that, hey, you may be in first place now, but I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be patient with this. And I know somebody's going to yell, Law, they've been patient for 26 years. And you got to equate 11 of those years we had Jason Garrett, who we had to go through growing pains, whether it was him being the offensive coordinator and working in conjunctions with Wade Phillips, and y'all know how their storyline went. And I could just go back and forth with you guys about the mishaps of the front office versus the players. We got talent. That's a given, right? You got to be talented to make it to the NFL. Let me repeat, you got to be talented to make it to the NFL. On top of that, I was talking to somebody about this right here, just off of talent alone. The Detroit Lions, you see, got a lot of talent. It's the coaching that they've been having issues with. Case in point, if you pick up Sean McVay, and for these past 5 years, and you put them on the Detroit Lions, right? Do you think that they would have done something with that team? So I don't want people to fall into the traps of saying, well, we don't have the talent, or we need the talent, we need this, we need that. There are more quarterbacks, and I say this, and when people stop being lazy and they look it up, they realize that Law is telling the truth. There are more average or right above average quarterbacks that lifted the Lombardi Trophy versus the elite quarterbacks. But what happened is that people only look at it from this angle. You need the elite quarterback. And that's just how crazy this world is. You know, people look at it like you need the Ferrari, you need the Aston Martin. You know, no, you just need the car to get to work and work your butt. Gosh, you know, there are more broke people riding those Lambos than you think. And a lot of this stuff is just flash. But neither here nor there. Let me get back to topic. I'm like when I do these videos without the production behind me. Cowboy Nation, stop the run. This is my guy Lombardi. He says stop the run, pressure the quarterback into throwing it into Diggs or boss man hands. And how you do that, Lombardi? You do it just like this with the party. Lombardi, with the party, you do it just like this. You create pressure. You put Parsons in on third downs or close that LOS. Oh, excuse me. You figure out a way, Dante Fowler, get back to the good graces of what he was playing like a couple of years back. And it's not that far removed. And excuse me as well. Let me get another excuse. Excuse me. Here's another thing, Cowboy Nation. Here's another thing. You don't depend on Fowler to do everything. You see, he had 4.5 sacks last season, right? He can bring those same 4.5 or maybe 6 or 7 sacks this season. But we are not asking him to play every down. We got DA. Oh, so what would you guys feel if we go into the 24th pick and we trade up? And my notion with this, you only would trade up for a tackle at this point. A skilled position guy. I think that this draft, or a tackle or guard or offensive lineman, or you trade up for an interior defensive person, and I can sell that to you guys better. I could not sell you the ideology of trading up for Treylon Burks. I can't do that because we did too many mocks that he will fall right there to the 24th spot. I cannot paint a picture for the Cowboys to trade up for Chris Olave. No. This wide receiver class is just too huge, right? Now the interior situation, I can look into a world and tell you guys, yes, that's a situation that the Cowboys may entertain, and they finally get out of their minds and say, okay, we get a good interior guy. Trade up for Davis. Shout out to you, Dre. Yeah, I can paint that picture. But what if you trade up for Davis and Wyatt becomes the better player? You know, and I know you can't put toothpaste back into the tube, and you move and you lose out on draft capital, right? And you trade up for a player and he hits you right in your face. Right? I can't make this stuff up. The Cowboys. And these few trades and these few picks that we had in the first round. Let me tell you guys. Taco Charlton was a first round draft pick, and we didn't measure out well with that, right? We didn't. The reason why we picked up Taco is because the defensive coordinator was banging on the table saying, hey, we scrambling, but we need somebody to be placed in on their front. Why did they do that? Because it was a need position. They didn't have the notion that D-Law was going to give you 14 sacks that same year. They didn't see that. D-Law been that person that been kicking the can, and we've been holding it for him, putting it back down in place, and he kicked the can again. And we was like, okay, all right, cool. But then we got Taco Charlton. D-Law woke up. All right, that was a horrible situation for us. I don't think that falls purely only on the Jones family, believe it or not. And I'm not trying to give them an excuse on this one. I believe that they listened to the defensive coordinator and they fooled around and got that pick. Moving a little bit further, we went and got LVE. LVE was a guy that the Cowboys looked at it and said, hey, this guy will help the interior of the field. We was trying to get back to the graces of controlling the hook area in the flats. And at the time, LVE, range. He wasn't known as a heavy hitter. You know, he was never known as that. He was the guy that get right beside you and drag you down, pull you down type of linebacker. But we was looking at it like coverage, range, 6'4". Yeah, you have issues with Sean Lee being injured and things like that. And you guys recall there was a video that came out right before he was drafted. I had a guy, the insider guy, that told me, hey, he do all of the medical stuff for the Cowboys. And the stuff that came back was a big red flag with his neck. But the Cowboys really like his temperaments, and they're going to draft him. He told me that the day before, like 2 days before the draft. I was sitting on that information. I kid you not. If you think I'm lying, go ask my guy, Dallas Prospects, my guy over there, you know. So check out his page, by the way. But neither here nor there. The Cowboys tend to show their hand in this draft, in drafting period. So if the Cowboys announce that they're going to trade up, I'm quite sure they got somebody that they love more than they like, and they are willing to trade up, Cowboy Nation. And we don't know who it's going to be or what position it's going to be, but I'm going to give you guys 4 positions that they said during this offseason that they really want. One being an offensive lineman that can play now. They didn't say can play next year or 2 years from now. They can play now. They said it. Jerry Jones left it out of his mouth. Number 2, the thing that the Cowboys organization said that they want to do is to find an edge rusher that can play, that can start now, right? So we got to put that down and that information. So what to do about Chauncey Golston? What to do about my guy, Dante Fowler? What to do about DA? Those guys are knocking, you know, somebody's going to be knocking at their door. Number 3, they lamented that they would like to have a tight end that can play, that can start. That's another area that we got to look at. Now, I'm going to move some furniture around. If we hear that music, that chime for your mind, and with the first pick, the Dallas Cowboys select a tight end, boy, you talking about moving some furniture around. And then number 4, of course, a wide receiver. Those 4 guys, and I know that's big spots right there. So we can start narrowing that down. So safeties, you scratch that out. Defensive backs, you can scratch that out. Linebackers, you know, you can scratch that out, right? Believe it or not. It is how it is. And on top of that, it could be smoke and mirrors, right? Cleon, appreciate you. So Cowboy Nation, it is what it is at this time and at this point. But I want you guys to check out the mock draft that I did, that me, Boss Cowboy, the OC, did just the other day. And check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. I really appreciate you guys so much for jumping in to this morning video. We will be live a little later on again today. Be sure to hit that like, share this content, subscribe for more Cowboys information and news around the world. The raw style, baby. Appreciate you. One love. DC for life.